And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
We're talking Giants every day.
Hey, is Greg out there yet?
From McCovey Cove to the Oracle Park lights, Eric and Glenn keep the fire burning bright, fighting for the glory, no matter what it costs us, breaking down the moments from the wins to the losses. Giant Sports Talk, we're here for the ride.
What's up, Marcus?
With the fan base pride, talking dreams will they
Armand's back.
contend? But we'll back the Giants till the very end.
We're fine. We're fine.
Let's go, Giants! Yes, yes, yes! Oh! Eric and Glenn breaking it down, all Giants all the time.
Thanks, PMG. Right on.
All right, welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live here on this Wednesday, February 5th, which is now in the annals of San Francisco history known as Barry Bonds Day. Did you hear
25, 25, 25, 25.
25. Yes, how about that?
Hey, we're only a year removed from 24.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what do we got now? Who's 26, 26?
Uh,
It's going to take a drastic nosedive, whoever it is,
yeah.
off the back of those two. Hey, I'm not used to this. I just can't do it, Eric. Whoop, there.
A little weird, isn't it?
I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just not used to it, man.
That's strange. What's up, DL? What's up, Marcus? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you back, man. I'm guessing you're on a trip somewhere, huh? So yeah, big news about an hour ago. They broke Pete Alonso heading back to Queens. Going to go play for the Mets again. 2-year deal, $54 million. Opt out after the first year, $10 million signing bonus. Hey, going back, going to hit free agency again next year. So there you go. So all those people who are wanting, what's up, Robert? All those people who are wanting the polar bear to be swinging a bat there at Oracle Park, ain't happening.
Hey, Robbie DeVille.
That'll happen when the Mets come visit our Oracle. But yeah,
Hey, Dilly. Dilly.
Those dreams have been dashed, so to speak.
Oh, Eric, you and I just said before the show, you said they could have paid that. And I said, they
They
could have, but
They
they
could've.
weren't going to pay that. They
could
could have,
have.
but they weren't.
They could have.
That's too pricey for the San Francisco Giants.
We said this about a week ago, maybe even longer than that. This is it, man. The current roster that we have right now is who we have. That is what we're rolling with in 2025. And I'll
So
tell you something right now.
Dilly must be in our. I said Toronto, so throw that out the window.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk.
Marcus, yes, sir. Giants are just going to save as much money as they can this year and pray for forgiveness. Yeah.
And that is a problem. The fans will forgive.
Yeah.
They're
Robert
forgiving
Rockford, the current roster will be fine. What is your definition of fine? What's your definition of fine, Robert? Let me hear you.
The players, Eric, the players could miss the team bus and we couldn't field a lineup and it would still be fine, Eric. It'd still be fine.
Yes, David Ben David. Correct.
I'd like to spend a day in Robert's shoes. He never has a bad day, that guy.
Competing. What are you competing for, Robert? Are you competing to stay above 500? Are you competing for the NL West?
To stay ahead of Colorado, Eric.
Are you what are you competing for, Robert?
It's a two-team race. It's a two-team race, Eric, for last place in the West.
Again, David, great. Happy for Bonds since MLB screwed him out of the Hall. He was a Hall of Famer long before the controversial PEDs. That is true. That is those are facts. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Really?
They're not competing for the playoffs.
Bye-bye
Come on,
there.
come on, Robert.
There. All right.
Whatever. The New York Mets, they're going to have a hell of a lineup. I mean, think about this. You got Francisco Lindor, you got Pete Alonso, you got Juan Soto, you got Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo. Who else you got out there? I mean, they got a pretty decent damn lineup.
Vientos really turned it on at the end of last year, too. Ooh.
Yes, he put up big numbers.
Good postseason.
And did you know? Wow, you know what? I'm going to show something. You guys are going to be – well, I'll bring it up a little bit later.
The only thing suspect would be their pitching.
So, yes, the pitching. What's up, Val?
A little suspect.
Cole, yes. Mets had a hell of an offseason. I agree. But at
least they have something to lean back on, Eric. They've got a good lineup. Okay. Our pitching suspect, the lineup suspect. We can't even have it either way.
Yeah, coming up. Yes, that's correct, Salsa. But you know how that goes. Coming up.
Coming up. Paul McCartney. Coming up.
Interesting.
Like a flower.
What percentage of all MLB salary is being paid by Cohen and the LA group? Probably about 95%, I would think, huh? David, 1 through 5 is pretty good. 6 to 9 is suspect. Hey, I will take a pretty good 1 through 5. Give me 1 through 5 at pretty good all day long. Oh, I forgot about Marte.
I thought he was talking about our 1 to 5 is suspect. And our 6 to 9 is suspect.
Huh.
The whole kit and caboodle.
Eric, who has a better pitching staff, the Giants or the Mets? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a pretty good one. Probably about the same.
I'd say the same.
Right? About the same. Not much difference. There's some parity there, right?
Yeah.
Heroku. Yes. Mets got Alonso at a discount. Okay, here's a question. Let me do a poll.
Maybe he just wanted to go. Maybe they just hold out tactics too, Eric.
Do a poll. Do a poll right off the rip.
If you had said he was going back to the Mets, it would have been a safe assumption, really. I got caught up and he was going to Toronto. Dilly wanted him to be a Giant. A lot of people wanted him to head just Mets. He's comfy there. I think he'll finish his career there, Eric.
Yeah, he might. We'll see. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe. Easy one. Yes or no? Are you okay with the Giants missing out on Alonso? Yes or no? Hypothetically, Cole's asking a question.
Oh, I saw that. I didn't want to answer it.
Yeah, Marcus gave him an exclusive discount code. Hey, Eric and Glenn, hypothetically, what do you think the Giants could do at this point in the offseason? This is it?
Pray.
Hey, hold on. Where the hell?
Pray. Pray.
Whatever. I'm not gonna go check. Giants payroll is closer to the Marlins and the White Sox than the Dodgers payroll, says PMG. I'm really cool. I got no answer for you. I have no answer for you. Hypothetically, I have no answer for you. But hey, I got a poll question out there.
Well, what is it? I can't see it.
Are you okay with the Giants missing out on Alonso? 63% say yes. Okay, that's fair. Let's see. I want to hear the opposing viewpoints, so to speak. I want to hear the yays and the nays. Huh?
I'm kind of split on it, Eric. He would have been great for a year, but to what extent and to what cost? Because you only need him for a year.
Could you use him longer? Put him in a DH? It's not like his defense is like spectacular, right?
I think Pete Alonso wants to play.
And that's fine. But again, if you're paying him a lot of money, hey, what's best for the club, right?
What's best for Pete?
Huh? Okay, it's going to be interesting. I thought he was out there for the taking for the San Francisco Giants. I really did.
Cole, I don't think they even made that. San Francisco made.
I don't think they even made an offer. I don't think they made an offer.
No.
I highly doubt that. I don't.
Alonso says Alonso's gloves comparable to Eldridge. I didn't even know. Well, Eldridge is still learning to play first base. So
here we go.
I don't know.
Here we go. Marcus, Matos, Ramos, Harrison, Birdsong, Fitzgerald, Bailey, all young guys that need to make big strides this year. Do you see the problem with that, Marcus? You're asking about a lot. You're talking about six guys. And one of them, I take that back, and two of them aren't going to be everyday player. Well, I should say Birdsong doesn't look like he has a spot in the rotation. Matos looks like he's probably going to be a bench player or in AAA. So because they're going to give the run to Yaz, and it's pathetic. Marcus, you agree, right? Shouldn't you just start Matos in right field just to see what you have? Just to see? Because really, are you going anywhere this year? Not really. Not really. So might as well see what the hell you got, right?
Mike, I don't think they missed out on him. They didn't go after him. You can't miss out on something if you don't go after him, Eric.
Right.
He wasn't in the plans, wasn't in the works.
Mike,
what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear this. I'm fine with
front office
agent or front office missing on Alonso. I'm not fine with the Giants. I'm not fine. Okay, gotcha. I hear what you're saying. Okay, Mike, I agree. Okay. Who would you like to get, Mike, or is it already too late? Who would you have liked to have gotten? Would you like to get Bregman? It ain't happening, but
well,
there you go, Mark. Hey, see? I was hoping they spent like the 5th richest club in baseball. Who banned your YouTube account? Who are you? Round Table?
FG Round Table? Who's that?
Who is that?
Not a clue. Oh, now
I didn't ban you. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out and unban you real
quick.
Let me
says Bregman. But Bregman's the only guy left.
Yeah, that's it. It's not happening. What's your actual name, Round Table, for YouTube?
Too late, baby. It's too late.
Let me see where you're. Hold on, I gotta get this crap.
Otherwise known as the YouTube user. Where did YouTube user go?
Wait, well, how did he get here? Someone banned. How did he get banned?
I didn't ban him.
All right, you're unbanned. Yeah, I saw him in there.
I didn't ban him. Did you ban him?
No, didn't ban him.
I didn't ban YouTube.
All right, you're good to go on YouTube, buddy. Round Table, you're good to go. I don't know what happened. Maybe friendly fire.
Oh, he says.
Oh, YouTube user. Oh, okay. I it showed you as SFG Round Table, but I took care of that. I think you might have got some friendly fire. Okay, here we go. Oh, he's got a desk camera set up now. Okay, we'll throw out the link here in a minute. All right, right on, Marcus. But no, I get what you're saying. And let me answer your question about the 5th richest team. I'm not asking the San Francisco Giants to go out there and spin like the Dodgers. That's not what I'm saying. They could, right? But I'm not going that far. They could. But let's talk about this. We've done this over and over. You could have you got Willie Adames, great. Should have gotten Burns, you missed. Could have traded for another bat. And they missed on 2 of the 3. But I don't know, man. Again, I'm just kind of talking about what Marcus, that kind of falls in line with what you're talking about. Spin like you're the 5th richest club. Don't spin like you're the 25th richest club.
They just won't do it.
It's just
they just won't do it. I won't believe they'll do it until I see it with my own eyes.
And that's where I'm going. Is I'm tired of the talk. I'm done. I'm just tired of listening to the organization. Just go out there and do it, because I'm tired of just being, as I've said many a times, led down Primrose Lane.
Yeah. And at least
Christian, what's up, man?
At least once in off season, we hear the old adage, Eric, we're going to go heavy. Mm-hmm. We're going to spend. We're going to go heavy. Something along those lines. We hear that at least once from some, whether it's Larry Bear or it's the GM or and they let me down again this year.
Is it real quick? I'm going to get to Christian, but before I get to Christian's
Adamas alone,
Verlander,
that's a letdown.
It's not ownership's fault that nobody wants to know, but we don't know. Did the Giants even offer them a contract? Did they offer them a contract that is more expensive, or I should say more lucrative than what the Mets offered? Probably not.
No.
They probably didn't. That's the issue.
Hit yourself.
That's the issue. All right, Christian. Saying hey to you and I there, Glenn. Alonso, 2 years, 54. Glad he's stuck with the Mets. There could still be a trade in the works. I just don't see it, Christian. I honestly, I just can't see it right now. I can't. Because why would you wait? Why would you wait to literally 6 days before pitchers and catchers report to pull a trade? Granted, it can be done during spring training, but that's not exactly optimal.
And Buster Posey doesn't want to break up this band of misfits.
And that's the thing. And Buster Posey has been on record saying, and look, I'm taking his word. He said in the beginning, I'm not going to be a liar. That's what he said. I could go find the tape. He said it. I'm not going to be known as a liar. But he said he's afraid of pulling some trades. So it's going to be interesting. Who is the Giants? Are the Giants willing to part with significant pieces that, what I mean by significant, within the organization to get a trade done? I just don't see it.
I disagree with Cole to a degree. He says, I can understand many of Posey's moves only if there are moves corresponding to them. Yes. Like if we trade a young pitcher after the Verlander signing, to which I then say, Eric, okay, but if you sign a 42-year-old pitcher, you are not safe trading any young pitching at this point.
You got a point there. You got a point.
Let's just stockpile a little young pitching, because if you think Verlander's going to be around for the next 5 years, you are sadly mistaken. Although that having been said, Eric, he may be here 4 years from now. You never know with this team.
Yeah.
Buster has already come out on record saying maybe he has a decent year. I'll bring him back next year.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
God.
Jack Raven Hop. Have not seen you in the chat before. Welcome to the fraternity we call Giants.
Raven Hop.
Welcome to the fraternity we call Giant Sports Talk Live. I'm interested to see what Buster and Zach do at the trade deadline with Yaz, Wade. Look, it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't matter what trade deadline is not meant, so to speak, to build your future, right? That usually the trade deadline is to get those teams who are competing for a playoff spot and have a high chance of maybe going deep to just improve their club even better. Now, if it could be a guy with some control, that's great. But normally it's just it's a guy that you want to get that's going to help you through the playoff run.
Yep. Every other fan base and every other team in Major League Baseball says the trade deadline, that's where we go all in.
No, it's not.
For the Giants, that's where we go all out.
That's exactly. And that's the thing. I just don't see I don't see it.
No.
And the Giants, who are they going to who's going to at that trade deadline? Who honestly at that period of time, we'll see who is going to want Yaz, Wade, Flores. Verlander, maybe he's got a no trade, so he could nix it if he wants. But if he's going to go to a winning team, he may decide to say, okay.
If he stays healthy, Eric, because he's going to have a strong arm if he's only projected to pitch 90 innings.
Yeah. And here's the problem: you can only trade him to a team who's competing because he's got the leverage. Because the team knows that he has a no trade clause.
What is up with that?
I don't know.
Of all players. Think about that, Eric. Think about it. So the riskiest, in my opinion, the riskiest signing, and you don't have an out on him.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck. Mm. This again, you say what you want. He could have a hell of a year, Eric. But again, this just goes back to this. This may be not Farhan Zaidi baseball. This just might be Giants baseball, Eric. Let's just go out and get deals and try to strike gold somewhere. Let's bring him in. If he does well, Eric, we'll look like geniuses.
Christian, I agree with you. Christian, I agree with you. But here's the problem. I don't see the Giants wanting to do that. I just don't. I just don't see them wanting to be able to trade a Doval, a Luciano. A Schmidt, they might, but I don't see it, man. I just don't get that feel. I guess we'll just call it that. The feeling doesn't feel like that's something that they want to do. I would love to do that.
Dan thinks he's the next Hall of Famer. What do you think?
Who's that?
Casey Schmidt.
Oh,
Dan thinks he's Gold Glove. He's a future Hall of Famer, that guy. And I'm like, I trade him tomorrow.
Well, it depends because here's the issue.
But they put themselves in a position where they can't, Eric. They need a set. What are you going to go with, Brett Wisely? I'd rather have Schmidt than Wisely. And you can't trade Wisely. So they're really cornered.
I know. And that's
really in a corner.
Look, Schmidt, I'll tell you one thing. If he could take a leap forward with his bat, he could be a freaking fantastic player. He could be. But he's not getting no playing time, man. Christian says, we can hope. And unfortunately, man, Christian, that's all we've been doing this whole offseason. This whole offseason has been nothing but hopes and dreams. That's it. And they've been dashed left and right, a la the Adamas trade, or the Adamas signing, I should say.
Vintage, what's sad is that 90% of our fan base here in the chat think we can compete. I'm trying to wrap my noggin around that.
I don't know. I don't think it's 90. There's a few people. It's not 90.
Okay, 85. Anybody who thinks this team can compete?
Oh, shit. Where does Bregman sign? Senior.
Gone.
Senior. Where does Bregman sign, Senior?
Toronto or Houston?
Nope. And nope.
What?
Nope. And nope.
Why?
Senior knows. Senior.
No, he won't go to the Dodgers.
Watch. I would not be surprised.
No.
Mark says the same thing. I could see it.
I think he goes to Toronto for 5 or 6 years.
I could see him going to the Dodgers because they're going to be winning and they need a replacement at third base because Muncy isn't going to be the guy. They got to replace him. Freaking Bregman's at the right age. He could play another third base for another 5 years. I could see Bregman going.
No, I think they get Arenado, if anybody.
Nah, because they may not want to trade. They might not wait. They might want to hold on to some of their pieces because again, they can't really trade pitchers because you don't know what the health is going to be like for the rotation. Maybe at the trade deadline, but I could totally see the Dodgers swooping in and getting freaking Bregman.
I don't believe you, Sharks. Shark says, "Come on, guys! Don't you see the long-term plan here?"
No, he's saying that's sarcasm. That's sarcasm.
Tucker and Vlad Jr.
That's sarcasm.
Get the farm system, and if you think we're going to turn around this farm system in the next 10 months, forget that.
Okay.
The Giants then can compete for years. So, okay, all right, Sharks. So you say they'll sign Tucker and they'll sign Vlad. What gives you hope of that when they haven't signed they signed one player in the last 7 years, Eric?
Glenn, sarcasm. He's being sarcastic. Trust me.
I'm just going with what's there. Let's get me wound up.
Hey, you cannot type sarcasm. You can't. It's impossible. Farm systems take years to build, say Anthony.
Yes. Okay. Not 10 months.
Let's okay.
You're going to build it at the trade deadline, and you're not going to build it by trading Wilmer Flores.
No.
Oh, Eric, the sheer lunacy, all of us, we're going to trade 3 players to become World Series contenders is crap.
No, I don't think that's what they're saying.
Oh, but a lot of people are saying that.
That would have been a good pull. If I can turn back time.
Good Lord.
That would have worked. Yeah, I agree with you, Christian, for 1 year. If I can turn back time.
Cher also sang a song called Just Like Jesse James. And I thought this organization were going to come out like gunslingers, Eric. What happened? You say they don't lie? You say Buster doesn't lie to you?
Okay, here we go.
I haven't seen much.
Let's talk about this.
Andrew Friedman.
You know what?
Andrew Friedman says there's one more big move, but Buster Posey says there's no more big moves. There's no more moves. So who are you gonna believe?
There you go. There you go. Where's the beef? Classic commercial.
What's up?
Oh yeah, I seen that a lot of this talk in Twitterverse. Remember when fans wanted Leg Up to buy the team? Dude is destroying the Warriors in real time. No thanks to that bum.
What do you mean he's destroying the Warriors?
Woo.
Made a good trade today, Eric.
I don't know. Whatever.
They got Ball, and they gave up same scenario. They gave up 2 players that wouldn't be back. They weren't in the plans, and they weren't going to be back next year. Final year of the contract there.
Supposedly they were trying to get LeBron and Brian Durant again, and supposedly Durant said, I ain't going back to the Warriors. I don't know.
Well, you don't want the fact that they want. Well, I'm not getting into.
I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't know enough. I'm not.
I don't care.
I'm not going down that path. All right, let's do this. Jimmy Buckets is a cancer. Says Carlos. So Jimmy Butler is a cancer. There we go. All right, here we go.
So the San Francisco
Dodgers
Giants
are going to sign Eric to manage the Dodgers. Hey, they pay me enough. Anyways, here we go. Let's talk about this. I was going to talk about it tomorrow, but let's see.
That's good. Right on, Jay Farrell.
How about this?
What?
How long will it take? Gosh dang it. I was going to do this tomorrow, but whatever. We could talk about it now. We could talk about it again tomorrow. I don't care. We got nothing to talk about.
No.
How long will it take the Giants to start competing? Let's just do this. Let's start low. When will the Giants be able to compete in the NL West? I mean, winning the NL West.
Who knows? They haven't shown me haven't given me any reason to believe they can.
Okay.
And if they add anybody, Eric, look what the other teams do. They just go out, they outspend, they outbuild, they outsmart the Giants.
Daniel says 5 years. That seems.
And why do you think 5 years? You don't think
3 to 4?
You don't think everybody else is going to be in the same boat?
Here's the issue that I have. 3 to 5 says Spencer. Here's the issue. I have a little issue with the 3 years, maybe even the 4, because here's the reason why I'm saying this, guys. Tell me who are going to be your foundational pieces in 3 years.
Who are you going to be your pitchers in 3 years?
No, that's what I'm saying. Tell me who is going to be your, if you're going to come out and say 5 years is that's the lowest I'm going to go is 5 years.
Winning the West.
Because you don't know.
Years.
You just don't know.
I'll say winning the West in 15.
Because think about this. Because who is going to be the guys that are going to be anchoring the lineup? Who are going to be the guys anchoring the rotation? We still have question marks, and we don't have a very deep freaking farm system.
Eric, you're talking about
right?
3, 4, 5, 7 years ago. We don't even know what's going on next month, Eric. Who the hell's in our lineup this year?
Well, because people talk about building for the future. Right now, the future seems pretty hazy to me.
Let's just worry about today. I want to take it one day at a time.
But that's the issue I'm talking about, because a lot of people are saying, let's build through the farm. Well, if we build through the farm, how long is that going to take? Tell me right now, to anyone in the chat, tell me someone other than Bryce Eldridge as a position player, who is the guy coming up making an impact?
Wisenhunt, if he's
no, position player. Oh, position player. Other than Eldridge, who is going to make an impact for this organization?
The organization led me to believe that's Meckler.
No. I'm talking about
that's who
in the minor leagues.
They led me to believe
in the minor leagues. You'd say Tibbs and Gonzalez. Tibbs. Okay, we don't know anything about Tibbs. Again, guys, we don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. We have no idea what Tibbs is going to be. He's only in freaking high A.
We don't have any idea about Eldridge either. He got a couple of at-bats in AAA.
I know that. But listen to where I'm going with this. We're putting your stock into somebody we really don't. That's only in high A. We don't know, guys. That's the problem. When you're a prospect, you just don't know. No, I think he got up to he's up in Eugene. I don't know where he'll start this year, but he got up to Eugene. You say Joe Sarr. I see that. Okay, maybe Joe Sarr. We don't know. That's the problem, guys.
I'll be retired from the show by
we're talking years away if they even break through. And that's the issue that I'm having is we just don't know. And that a lot of people they just throwing out the arbitrary number of 3 to 5 years. You can't even tell me in 3 years who's going to be the anchoring the rotation, or not just the rotation, but in the rotation. Of course, because we got to get pitching, but also as your position players.
I say 2040.
It's just, we don't know, man. We don't. And we're going to get more into it tomorrow because that's what I want to. I want to hear names. I see Tibbs. I see Joe Sarr. It's just, I don't see it, man. I don't see the hype on other than Eldridge. We got one top 100. Does it mean anything? Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does. But geez, moly, man, this is just, it's frustrating. That's why at this particular time, I wanted the Giants to spend. I don't advocate to always spin. That's all I'm saying. Look, that's
unless it's one,
right? That's just dumb talk.
Yeah.
But there's times in your timeline as an organization where you got to go a different direction and you got to be able to read that direction. And sometimes, with the money thing, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit more short term.
There's a good answer.
Let me see. Giants will start winning NL West until it changes its MO. Current ownership group is a very risk adverse. Yes. They need to recognize they're in a sports entertainment business. Yes. Very good, Mike. Yep. Jay, Alonso is overrated. Let him go. That's okay. That's fair. Let me see where the heck our damn.
No more Alonso talk. And I won't give you any more Meckler talk about that. Right. Yeah, that's true. There you go. You have to spend to get good players. I've said that all along, Eric. You want to win? Give me the best players. You want to win? Give me the best players. Don't give me Mike Yastrzemski and Wilmer Flores and Lamont Wade Jr. and Mike Fitzgerald. Mike Fitz.
Tyler. Yeah.
Exposed. Tyler Fitzgerald. I don't think Tyler Fitzgerald is an everyday player, Eric. Well, he will be here, but I don't think he is an everyday player. He's a bench player. See, this is it, Eric. We've got a lineup, and we got bench players starting every day.
This is just. I'm confused.
I don't think he's an everyday player, Fitzgerald. You put a lot of eggs in that basket.
Honestly, I can't answer that question. We don't
You think he is? You believe in the Easter Bunny, man? Because I am so down in the dumps. I've never been. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been this down in the dumps ever as a Giant fan.
I did not see this coming.
We're a week away, a little over a week away. The pitchers and catchers, we'll have spring training games, Eric, coming up in about two weeks.
Yeah. 22nd is the first spring.
There you go. 2 weeks. We got spring training games, guys. And right about now, I should be getting, getting tingly, Eric, getting a little, let's see what we got. Get the guys in the field. I ain't feeling it this year, man.
Yeah, it's tough. You know why? You know why you're feeling it? Is this the first time you've really taken a look at the team day after day after day? It kind of wears on you, doesn't it? You see what I'm saying? When it wears on you, you take on a totally different perception of the team when we're sitting here covering them every single day. It grinds, man. And
then when I look at the stats, Paul has gotten me into looking at stats and looking at video and trying to kind of deep dive into the players. And what I see, Eric, I don't like.
Christian, honestly, guys, we couldn't expect Buster to take this team to a division. I get it. No, 100%. I agree with you, Christian. You cannot take them to a division in one offseason. No, absolutely not. But you know what? He could have really set a really strong foundation. Christian, does it make sense to go out there, get a Willie Adames, and then say, that's it? To me, it seems it's not adding up for me.
Mark.
It's not adding up for me.
Yaz, Wade, Flores are the absolute best players available, short of dropping $45 million a year on Santander, Alonso. But isn't that a problem, Eric? If Yaz, Wade, and Flores are the absolute best players at that price range, then we're playing $1.44 day baseball, Eric.
Yeah.
I told you, I need a pit bull, not a little poodle.
Yeah. What's up, Graham?
Jeez, man.
Yeah, I keep coming back to. I'm still talking to Christian here. I just don't understand why you stop at Adamas. It's not adding up to me. We talked about it yesterday. Bob Smith, what's up? Haven't seen you in here before. Welcome to the chat, man. Just feels like a rebuild year with Buster. Hopefully, getting some experience in his first year while only doing safe actions. That's you may be onto something.
Bob's right. However, they're not doing this right. They're throwing Band-Aids on it, Eric. If you were going to rebuild. Rebuilding. Eric, I'll give you an example. Listen, this argument only lasts 10 seconds. Rebuilding ball clubs do not sign 42-year-old base starting pitchers. End of discussion. That's not a rebuild. Let's bring in Verlander. That's not a rebuild, Eric.
No.
It's a retooling. But
Is
not
it
a rebuild.
Labalo? I want to make sure I get that. I'll just call you Dave. How about that? Christian, I don't think the plan was only to get Adames. I agree. Buster has to build back the prestige. Can't do it in one offseason. True. Bernstein sucked, but that's how it goes. Yeah, that was a miss, man. There's no
all right, Christian, how many? If he doesn't do it in one offseason, then how many? Because he sure missed the dartboard this year, Eric. Couldn't even get one on the board.
Jack Raven, see a lot of people. Again, this guy just came in a chat. Well, I don't know how long he's been in a chat, but he's just started chatting today.
There you go.
They won't commit to a rebuild, and they won't commit to competing. Yeah,
there you go.
Again, you're in purgatory. You're not getting anywhere in purgatory.
Yeah, you're just going to spin your wheels.
See, there's the deadline. I get the deadline, but that deadline, again, usually isn't to rebuild, so to speak. We'll see. I don't know.
More Katniss says get rid of Yaz when he's hot. The trade deadline, it will be here and gone by the time he gets hot, Eric.
Right. He didn't get hot until I think after the damn trade deadline.
Yep. So
actually, it was a little bit before, but he was.
And again, I'm going to stick to my guns, Eric. I'm going to stick to my guns and say, when the time comes to make deals,
I'm going to throw up the link.
Guys are not lining up to trade for what we've got to offer. Right? There'll be 28 other teams, Eric, out there. 28 other teams out there. So if I call you with an offer, I'm sure somebody else has got a better deal, better package.
Maybe we'll see. You got to wait until the games are played. I threw the link out there. Hey, Marcus, you want to come in? He's asked if we whiff next offseason, then that's that. Okay. The question I'm asking, what is your definition of a whiff? What would you consider a whiff next offseason? I can't believe we're talking about next freaking offseason, dude.
What does this mean anyway, Eric? Can you explain?
Hey, look at that. Look at professional down there, man.
Explain that. What is he scouting New Mexico now? Look at him. Oh, we're getting a look at where he's going. Oh, my God. He's going live, Eric. He's going live. We've got a big surprise coming. Holy cow.
He looks legit.
We'll put that ugly mug on TV or what? Yeah, we'll bring
better looking than us, man.
That's true. Do the Giants go after Vladdy and Tucker next off season? They might. You can go after them, Eric, but do you get them?
Yeah,
probably not. But I want to know, what does this mean, Eric? Posey doing a soft rebuild this year.
That's not a soft rebuild.
What is a soft rebuild this offseason? Getting Adames is a soft rebuild?
No.
This team's gonna stink, man.
All right, hey, let's bring in. Well, I keep getting rid of it. Let's bring in Marcus, man. He's got a camera. Let's go, man. What's up, Marcus?
Hello. Holy smoke! Look at this shirt. Nice. It's Hawaiian night. I didn't know. I would have worn my Hawaiian shirt. Look at that.
Yeah, I had to wear one of my Giants shirts.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Real appearance.
What's up, man?
What's up,
Were you
brother?
on some vacation somewhere?
I've just been really busy with my. I
That's
don't know
fair.
if you can see this cabinet behind me, but there's
Yeah,
a
I
lot
see
of
that.
whiskey. There's whiskey like all around me. This box is like more whiskey in it. So I've been doing a lot of tastings and just I have my people in my club that I share drinks with, and
Wow.
yeah,
So are
it's
you
been
like
busy.
a connoisseur?
I don't know about kind of. I drink a lot. I mean, I own a lot of whiskey and I drink a lot of whiskey.
He must be a Giant fan, Eric.
There we go. I'm gonna have to cut that into a damn short. I drink. He goes,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
drink.
Yeah, I'm a Giant fan. I drink a lot.
I mean,
You ever go to
it is
Scotland?
what it is. Not yet. Not yet.
You gotta
I
go,
mean,
man.
yeah, I have some buddies that whose family is from Scotland, and they
Nice.
offered to have me
Oh,
over with
you
their
gotta take
families,
advantage
and
of it, dude.
yeah, no,
You
I
gotta
know.
take advantage.
It's just a
I'll tell you
matter of
what.
the time off more than anything. It's like it's not that I don't want to go. It's like there's so many places I want to go,
Mhm.
and just such little time to go. I also want to go to France to for
Fair.
wine and
Oh, there you go. Now, real quick before we get into, I'm gonna get your thoughts on Alonso here in a minute. But when I visited Scotland, when we went to the Stirling Castle, and the official guide, he was a small little Scottish guy. Guy was hilarious. Told great stories. Fantastic guide. And I took a picture with him at the end. And of course, instead of saying cheese, what do you think his words were? Whiskey. That was great, man. Guy was
Jesus
awesome.
good.
Guy
Christ.
was awesome.
This isn't the freaking travel channel. All right, Marcus, you haven't been on for a while. You've had a
know.
chance to regroup. What are you bringing tonight?
I've gained a lot of zen, and you can't just get upset all the time. It's drinking will do that to you. But here's the thing: what someone said earlier about the soft rebuild. In some sense, it's true. I mean, we are pretty far below the CBT, right?
Yeah, right.
We haven't spent too big on free agents. We are playing a lot of young players that are unproven.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not a soft rebuild, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, we have, like I said earlier in the show, we have a lot of these guys who are unproven and, really need to show their stuff at the big league level.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, you got to have some of the veterans, like some of the replacement level big league guys in there to eat up innings, to eat up starts, because bringing up players too early can really set them back in their development.
That's fair.
So I mean, yeah, like a person like Matos, I don't like the whole yo-yoing.
Right? Shouldn't they just start him in right field?
I
Right? Just
I would
going
prefer
nowhere
it.
really.
I would prefer it. I would prefer it, but I'm also okay if they platoon him with Yas to start and see how they develop.
Okay.
Let him give him a soft landing.
Okay.
Because
So you guys don't agree with me then? I say they're going to play the guy that they're paying the most money to.
Well, I mean, look, they have these people on their roster, and they're going to use them. That's how what ways they use them. I don't know how much faith they have in Yaz versus Matos. I'm not sure, but
just knowing the way this organization treats its veteran players, and they sort of live in the past. I cannot see this organization now.
And people are
giving
so
$10
mad.
million to Yaz and saying, look, we're just going to sit you on the bench and, you play a few days a week. I can't see it. It's like they're not emboldened enough to just Eric, it takes balls. Marcus, you got to be, if you're going to run the ball club, whether it's the manager or the general manager, you got a job to do. You just say, all right, you're out of the lineup, and that's it. But this organization seems so timid.
I think, it's Posey's first year on the job, and he's still figuring things out. And I don't know. Like, I would prefer to know who it is that will be at every position for the future. Like I would prefer that, and it would give me a lot of confidence in the club. But that's not what we're getting. So, I think we should just take the season to really watch these young guys like Bailey, like Matos, like Ramos, Fitzgerald, Jung-Hoo Lee, who we really haven't seen a lot of.
Good point. We don't really know, honestly.
And just see what we got, and we can supplement next year to see where our holes are.
All right, Marcus, Eric and I have been talking for 6 months. Just yap, same stuff all the time. You do a show every night. Some nights it's just open line. We have nothing to talk about. So I'm going to put you on the spot. You're going to be the guest host right now, and you can answer a question. Posey has a plan this year. Posey has a plan this year, according to Val. Marcus, what say you? What do you believe that plan might be? What is it? Because I haven't figured it out.
Look, there's a lot of really excellent ball clubs in the NL this year, and not all of them are going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple as that. And I think that, Posey understands that it's a disappointment to lose again, to be a losing ball club again. But what would be worse than being a losing ball club is to spend over the CBT and fail. That would be
scared. He's a little bit scared. Then
he's scared. He's scared. And forget. I mean, a lot of the pieces are off the board because other teams were spending big. A lot of the teams are kind of reaching the peak of their windows. Like, the Padres are going to get worse after this year, after next year. And there's a lot of teams that are just really bolstering their lineups. And duking it out over this year, he might have done some projections or, worked out a strategy with his team where it's like, okay, well, we could overpay for players this year, or we can kind of take stock of what we got, get a better idea of which young guys are in, which young guys are out. And the next year we're going to, pay to fill whatever holes we have after we give our young guys a shot.
Here's a question. Okay. Now, how about this? And I'm still trying to wrap my head around this one. Why would you make such a big splash with Adames, right? And just be done. I mean, I'm guessing, I'm going to take a pretty good guess that Corbin Burns was the get, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason. It didn't work out.
I mean,
it doesn't say. Is he doing it just to say, "Hey, look, we're doing something"? Kind of almost like a diversion. Yeah, we needed a shortstop.
We needed a shortstop, and we have a lot of shortstops in our minor league system that are ranked in our top, however many prospects.
You're in the top
and
10,
none of them are going to be ready until Adames is done anyway. Or towards the end of Adames' contract. So you got to have someone. You got to field your team. You got to have 9 guys on the diamond.
Okay.
Paying someone to fill that space.
I mean, that's kind of if that's where you stop, I mean, you're spending money. You're kind of throwing money down the hole because and again, these are just projections. You got Percoda saying 78 wins. You got Vegas that is saying 79.5 wins. I mean, it doesn't look good. I mean, arguably it's worse than it was last year.
I mean, relative to the league, yeah. I mean,
so what's the point? You see what I'm saying? Well, if that's not going to move the needle, then maybe be a little bit more aggressive, right?
I mean, yeah. What would I prefer? Let's get it out of the way. Just so there's no question. No question. What would I prefer? I would prefer that the Giants spent the money, really leverage their real estate and streaming wealth, and sign the guys to field the best team they could.
Yes.
That's what I would prefer. That's what I would like to see as a fan.
Yes.
Now, am I going to sit here like I've done all the math and done all the, all the mock-ups and projections and that spending money right now on these particular players is the best move? Like, no, I have no idea. And so now that this offseason's done, and we've only made, the one big signing and some other small signings, what can I hope for? Well, all I can hope for is that next year we do what I thought.
and before I bring Dillian, because I see you down there, Dilly, I'm not forgetting about you. You said next year if they whiff, well, that's that. What do you consider a whiff for next offseason?
A big whiff would be, the young guys don't, more of the young guys don't pay off the knot, and then we don't supplement the holes that they're leaving in our plans with big offseason, big signings or trades or what have you. That would be a big whiff where we don't see, right now, like that meme, there's concepts of a plan.
Concepts of a plan. I know where you're going with that one. I know where you're going with that one.
So, there's still a lot of ways this could go where we end up being a winning ball club the next few years. It exists. It's not, I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to be winning ball club next year or the year after, but there's a way. There's a way it can happen.
Okay.
Now, if we have the young guys not make a big splash, and then we don't make the signings to make up for what we're lacking, or that's, to me, is like there's no vision.
You go.
What's happening. We don't know. Right. We don't know. We have no faith. But right now there's still a lot up in the air. I'm still gonna give him a shot and watch some games, and just enjoy watching the young guys, and hope we get some all-stars, and hopefully we can offload some of these old fogies for some prospects at the deadline.
There you go. Hey, let's bring in Dilly.
I think even when we get Eldridge, Eric, even when we land Eldridge into our starting roster, there's still a lot of work to do, because you're still going to look. You got to have a solid DH. Got to have right now. As of right now, right field's. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Who knows what we're going to get out of right field?
We don't know, to be honest with you. I mean,
I said earlier, Marcus, I don't think Fitzgerald's an everyday ball player. He's not. He's a.
We just don't know that.
We don't know. I mean, he showed flashes. He showed the top end. He showed the top end of his range is good. That we can.
Yeah. Yes, but is that there you go? Is that if that's the top rate? Is that the best? Again,
the top end of his range is the best we can get. The top end of his range was prime Barry Bonds.
Yeah, it was damn up there. It was up there.
That
month of July was.
Oh yeah, but so
sustainable. No, hold on, but I'm not saying it's sustainable, but we know that he has the upside, and now he's moving to a position that is less demanding on him defensively, and he has the hitting upside. So I think it's worth it to give him a shot. If he's not an everyday player, it'll show.
Might as well.
If he is,
because Glenn, if they're not getting these guys, then just give Fitzgerald and Matos the run just to see what you have, right? If you're not going out there and spending big, then might as well see what these guys have. I mean, there's no alternative, right?
I would agree with you. I would. But that was the reasoning for last year. And they didn't.
Fair. That's fair.
Last year was really complicated. And that Farhan was on the hot seat, and he was kind of he wasn't really sure about his job security, and he was trying to sort of set the record books in a way that made him not look so bad. It wasn't so much him trying to leave the Giants in the best place possible. It was trying to make
save his ass.
So I think a lot of the issues with last year was that Farhan was doing what he could with the mess he made and trying to get as many wins as he could within the confines of what the ownership would allow him to do for that 1 year, and not really planning for the future. So I wouldn't take what happened last year as any indication of what's going to happen this year.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but a lot of last year, Marcus, we added Adames. Yeah. And last year is this year all over again. Where's all these big additions?
I mean, sort of, right? Like last year, we had
some coming into the season with one new player.
Look, last year we had some additions that were short-term deals. So we still had no idea on the future of the ball club.
Right.
We had basically no idea what Farhan was doing and what the ball club would look like next year. And what Posey's done now, is it the most exciting way to go about doing this? No, but what Posey's done is we have players on our roster that we know will be there for the long haul. We know that that third base and shortstop are going to be consistent for years to come. That's important. That's an important thing to know. You go to a Giants game and you're going to be pretty damn confident you're going to see Chapman, Adames, Ramos, Lee, Bailey out there on the field. Now the other players, I don't know, but that's 3 more players that we are confident in than we were last year. So
I'm not overly confident. Like Dallas taking a shot at me. I think anyone down on Fitzgerald didn't watch last season. I watched him, and again, I'll ask you, Dallas. Is Fitzgerald the best you can get at second base? A platoon type player. He plays all over the field. He's in the outfield. He plays shortstop. He plays second base. If he's the best we can get, then hey, we got to roll with him.
He's one of the fastest players in the
league. He does have a lot of speed.
He's shown that he has power. He has the capability of hitting for power.
Well, then change the whole concept of the team, Marcus. What the hell's the good? If we sign the fastest team in baseball but don't run, what's the point? And again, we don't know. The team never takes a lane.
We don't.
That's speed.
We don't know.
Why don't you? You don't utilize it.
We don't know. We don't
know if they're going to run or not.
We changed a lot of things about the organization behind the scenes already.
All right. Before Dilly comes in, what are we going to do with the pitching this year? You're talking about all these great players. What are we going to do with the pitching?
Like I said, you just got we're going to have the young guys as the plan A, and we're going to have Verlander eat up innings to give them a soft landing, and we're going to see what we got. And
who do you think? Okay, do you think it's a mistake not having Birdsong in the rotation?
I don't know about mistake. I mean, look, would I like to see Birdsong blossom into the excellent pitcher I think his upside provides? Totally.
Where do you think they should play him? In AAA or put him in a bullpen?
Oh, I don't think you should waste away in the bullpen.
I agree. He needs to be in AAA. He needs to be a starter
because
yes.
We've shown last year we dipped deep into the well.
Yeah. True.
I don't think that him not starting on the roster and in the first stretch of the season is any indication that he won't be back in the rotation.
That's fair.
We are working on getting the innings.
Would you agree if Birdsong is showing up in the rotation that things are kind of going sideways?
Oh yeah, that means that a lot of things went wrong for them, right?
Correct.
That means that Hicks, fizzled out again, and Verlander's dementia caught up to him, and that Harrison, the movement on Harrison's pitches is gone again, and
right,
a lot of things have to go wrong for
or injury, God forbid.
Yeah, or injury, and having him as the option is good, and I don't want to wear him out just because.
I don't think he should be our option. This flies in the face of what they keep saying they want to do. They want to build for the future, then he should be pitching. And I still say that I think one of the biggest farces of this entire offseason was the Giants signing Verlander. Of all the teams, all the transactions made around baseball, I think Verlander, telling you, Eric, tell them how many the projections, how many innings.
That's Percoda. They're saying 103 innings.
I mean, I said if he gives us more than 100 innings, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, you did say that.
I said at the start.
Yeah.
If he gives us more than 100 innings, I'm thrilled. So
100 innings out of your third starter? That's terrible.
That's just where the Giants are, unfortunately.
We need some.
They didn't have to be, Eric.
They should have got Burns.
It's not where they are. It's where they keep putting themselves.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? Like we should have gotten Burns. Yeah. But someone has to pitch those innings. And you have to pay someone to do it. And you don't want to, I don't know how I don't know exactly how calling people up and down works exactly. And like how many times you can do that.
Oh, I think you got there's a rule.
There's some rules about that. I haven't studied them all, but you have to pay someone to pitch those innings.
I agree with Jay Farrell. 42-year-old Verlander's not going to eat innings, not for a whole season.
That's all it is.
They're projecting he's going to pitch 100 innings. That's great. We need 900 innings from our starters.
Yeah.
Where are those 900 going to come from? You're gonna yo-yo some young guys so they can throw out their arms trying to prove something when they're not ready.
Okay, before I forget, in case I forget, because we got to get Dilly in here.
Yeah, I got to get Dilly in here.
We're going to play 500.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? How many wins do you think? I said 84. Glenn said 77.
I said 79.
79.
I said they fall short of the half game.
Gotcha.
To cover. The Vegas line is 79.5, so they got to win 80 games to play above 500.
I'm going to be daring.
Or cover the spread, if you will.
He's going to be daring.
I think we're going to hit the over on 79.5.
I said 84.
And I'm gonna go with Eric's number. It's 84? A very optimistic number.
It is,
but I think that the upside of the young guys is there. And
you guys are killing me. You know that every time you get guests on, you're killing me.
84 is not a big. It's not a big ask.
But you know what? But it's not gonna. You're not talking playoffs. So you're better than last year. But
I'm not
84, Eric. That's legitimate. 84.
Look,
the scheme of things, that's not good.
I never said that we're gonna have a good performance next year.
Right. Correct.
Not since all the signings went sideways.
And the pundits have Pittsburgh winning one fewer than us.
Well, yeah, Pittsburgh. Oh, that should be embarrassing for us.
Well,
there you go.
Pittsburgh's got a hell of a rotation, though. They got Bubba Chandler coming up. You got Paul Skeens.
Of course, but their ownership, they're one of the few teams that should be more pissed at their ownership than we should.
Right, and that's the thing is they got a horrible ownership.
I think our pitching. I think big down. I think our offense.
The Pirates also have a much softer competition, which is why they're only
the Central. Yeah.
Yes, no. Everybody plays each other.
Everybody plays it, but your competition within the Central is not as strong as it is.
No. Come on, the Central.
No, but if you play everybody around the league head to head, you got to look after your own. Do your own laundry.
It's going to be easier to win the NL Central for the Pittsburgh Pirates than it is for the Giants to win in the NL West.
I got a better chance to win in the division, Eric. I think the Pirates we've got finishing in last place.
I think the Pirates have a better chance of winning the Central than the Rockies do of getting better than last in the division. Which is going to be tough for the Rockies.
Yeah, Dilly,
you don't think the Rockies will get better this year?
Am I allowed to curse? No. Come on, look at them.
But you think we're going to all of a sudden get better? I don't know.
I didn't say we're going to get better.
Give me an interesting. That is one thing I can say, guys. It's going to be an interesting year because as I would say in the past, let the chips fall where they may.
Dilly, what's up? Talk to me, man. Tell me about Alonso. Are you heartbroken?
You've been on
the sideline. I was going to say, and canned.
Hope you like that music we were playing in the background for you. We had the background music while you were on hold. Hope you like that.
No, I'm not heartbroken. I'd been heartbroken if I hadn't had my hopes up, but I was.
Yeah,
I'm smart enough to not do that with almost anything, but definitely with baseball. So, heartbroken. No, I am kind of a little surprised that he did go back to the Mets. I didn't really think there for a while he was going to do that. But it's hard to turn down $30 million a year. So, I mean, he got what he wanted in his situation that he found himself in. Hindsight, obviously, I'm sure he wished he would have just signed the deal in 2023 or whatever it was.
Right.
Been on his happy way, but 'tis how the cookie crumbles, as they say. So
he gets an opt-out, so he can. It could be a proven
year
for him.
And you know what? Ultimately, say what you want about Boris, it ended up probably going to work out for Alonso in the long run because he'll make his $30 million this year, which is a healthy chunk of change. And then he'll be able to test the free agent market next year when you have a deep free agent market for the first base position with Vlad and Josh Naylor's a free agent next year. Mr. Goldschmidt, I believe, is going to be back on the market.
He's probably done, no?
There's going to be a bunch of, don't sleep on him. I think he might have a good year in New York because of that short porch.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know. We'll see. He'll be in a better lineup. Anyways, there's going to be a healthy first base market next year. So I'm thinking that he'll be able to fetch more close to what he's looking for in that longer term deal. Not to say that this year's first base market was not healthy. It's just with Vlad next year being a free agent, I think there will be more talk
to if they wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what that brings, but ultimately the 30 million this year, and then is the 10 million on top of that? So is it technically 40 million?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it 20 million with a 10 million on top?
I think it's 20 with the 10 on top because they said he's making 30 million.
10 million signing bonus.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So there you go.
This year,
he's making 30 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
and then 24 million next year unless he opts out.
So yeah, no, ultimately that's good for him. Good for him. He got probably the best case scenario for how deep we are in the offseason at this point. And then that does raise all the questions for Bregman and where he's going to go. I keep thinking that it's the same. I think he's in the same position with the Astros as Alonso was in terms of like wanting to come back and just hang out. So it would not shock me if they retained him. And
you see him going to the Dodgers?
No, I don't see that happening.
Don't see it?
I don't see that happening. It would make sense, but I don't see that happening.
The reason why I say that is because they need to find a replacement at third base.
Yeah, their third base is a little wonky. Muncy's obviously up there in age and isn't like, it's not like he's batting 280 either. He bats about 212 and drops about 30 bombs a year.
Correct.
So it's
correct.
But you have such a dynamic lineup for the Dodgers that you can get away with that, and that's fine. You can have a guy like that or a couple guys like that, and it not. I mean, they just picked up Conforto, which is essentially the same thing, just in the outfield, with hammy issues. So it's like you can cover those up when you have Ohtani's and Freeman's and Betts and all that kind of stuff. But I don't see him going to the Dodgers. I see him either like I think he is the type of player to want to stay in Houston. And it sounds like Houston's got a pretty good deal out there for him from just the vibe I'm getting across like the various Twitter posts that I've read.
What is Houston got out there? Because we saw what the Cubs are offering, 100 plus.
Yeah, I don't think that gets it done.
I don't think it does either. I think it was more years.
Although I do like that the Cubs are really going for it.
They are. Like they're messing around.
They're putting in the work. I appreciate the hustle. I don't think he goes to Toronto. I don't think that's in his toolbox. It's weird. The Red Sox are giving weird vibes because it's like they're feeling out Arenado still, which makes me think that they get the vibe that Bregman's not going to sign with them, which I kind of already thought the Red Sox were done because they've done all kinds of stuff, trades and spent all kinds of money and stuff. So I kind of thought they were done spending money, and Bregman was no cheapie. So for them to still be putting feelers out is interesting to me. Tigers have always been a fit for him, but I think ultimately it's an Alonso situation where it's like, I think he's comfortable in Houston. That's where he's played his career. I think he'd want to stay there ideally. He may be willing to take a pay cut or like not take the highest offer just to stay in Houston. I could see something like that. And him just kind of finishing out his career there. If they give him Yeah, I don't know what the contract would look like.
Where are they
I think
at?
he's
Where are they?
looking
Hold
for
on. Let
that.
me see. I'm sure they don't want to go over to CBT, right?
Yeah,
I think that's the
probably
issue.
not.
I want to see where Houston is currently.
And just
If
want to
they
remind
wanted-
you guys too in the chat, Eric. Stop
What's
with
up?
the politics and the bullshit. Just talk
Yeah.
baseball and no fighting and no politics, and we'll all get along just fine. All right, Dilly.
Ooh, man,
I
they're up
think-
against it. They're up against it, man. They're
I'm
at
sure.
236. I don't know if he goes to Houston.
I don't know. We
Yeah, he's
shall
at-
see.
Now next year, man, it drops by $100 million.
Significantly. Yeah, that's significant. But you're dropping off like Valdez and like dudes like that.
Yeah. So yes, if they get Bregman, it's definitely they're gonna be into CBT if that's where they.
I think for their team right now, I think retaining him would make a lot of sense. I think it would, like, going over the CBT for a guy like Bregman on the Astros for the Astros. I think that would just make a lot of sense.
Okay, and that's
that would be a
something I was gonna ask you.
worthwhile thing.
Where do you guys stand on? We'll stay with the Giants on going over the CBT. Are you for it, against it, or is it like there's stipulations? I'm guessing, right? Because for me, I guess it would be stipulations, right?
Of course, there's stipulations. I have no problem going over the CBT because it's not my money. Go over it 4 times. Be the Mets. I like ultimately at the end of the day, that's my stance. If you're trying to avoid doing that or strategically doing that, because they went over it last year. And here's the thing. I will stick to my guns on the statement that I made prior to last season, or prior to last season, but after they had been finished making their moves in the offseason. I said, regardless of the results of this season, I am happy with the moves the Giants have made this offseason because I feel like this team is significantly different from the team before that, the prior year, 2023's year. And I think they got significantly better. Now, obviously, in hindsight, that was not the case. A lot of things fell apart, didn't go the way we planned.
Right.
We dumped Soler super quickly. And but on paper going into that season, I felt really happy with the team they were going to field because I thought they did well in the offseason. Pivoting
it seemed deeper than it did.
Yeah. They pivoted from who they missed out on and got a lot of legitimate players, not like Confortos and Hanigers and stuff like that. Like they actually got dudes who would go out theoretically who should have gone out and performed. So now this year, piggybacking off of that, they went over the CBT last year for all those dudes, which I was like, okay, fine. That's a legitimate, like you spent money and got a legit team and went over the tax. That's cool. This year, if you wanted to stay under that, I think considering all of those factors, the people you did get with Adames and then technically with Chapman as well, and Verlander, so on and so forth, I think with keeping in mind staying under the CBT, that's a healthy addition. Those are healthy additions because you got one dude who's a cornerstone for the next 6 years.
Correct.
7 years, whatever. I can't remember. Was it 6 or 7?
7 years. It was 7.
Yeah, well, there you go. 7. So he's a cornerstone on your team for the next 7 years, which is solid. I have no problem with that. You have Chapman for the next 5 or 6 as well. Solid. So that's good improvement to have been made. Now, going into next season, because they were under the CBT this year, assuming that they don't sign Bregman and blow past it and then just make all of this a moot point. Going into next season when you have big dudes like Tucker and Vlad and like all these guys, right? That would be awesome. I don't have a problem with having this year be a year where it's like, okay, we're going to see what we have in our right fielder. We're going to let Eldritch have a full season in AAA. We're going to test the waters on some of these young pitchers, use it as like a stepping stone till next year when you have a crap ton of money coming off the books. You'll be way under the CBT. You're not going to have to pay the CBT tax from going over this year. So you're going to have so much more flexibility in your budget going into next year that you will be able to do a lot more things than if you were to have gone over the CBT this year or signed a bunch of dudes like Confortos and Hanegers to like middle tier expensive contracts, but not like superstar contracts, but not cheap to where it's like doesn't make a difference. It's like you didn't do any of those types of signings that'll clog it up for next year whenever you want to make your big moves, given that you don't have a guy like and I liked what Marcus was saying earlier a lot. What determines whether or not they fail next year in terms of their offseason
is their young guys this year. Because if you hit hard on a couple of them, then that changes what you need going into next offseason. That's correct.
So,
and here's the thing too with Vlad, you know they're going to put a freaking qualifying offer on him, so you're going to lose.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So you're going to lose draft picks, whether or not you go over to CBT or not. So you could kind of scratch him off, and plus you're going to have. Yeah, I don't think they go for Vlad anyways because you got Eldridge. Kyle Tucker, on the other hand, he was traded, so he's not going to have that qualifying offer.
Tucker would be the move. Like you need to do whatever it takes to get Tucker. You got to get Tucker. That in my opinion.
I'm a big fan of whatever it takes for Tucker.
Yeah, and what that allows you to do is trade guys in your farm system like Matos and Tibbs and all that kind of stuff. Because assuming that Ramos stays in form, assuming that Jung-Hoo Lee stays in form, that kind of a thing, your outfield's going to be set. You're going to have a great outfield at that point. And then with the addition of Tucker, of course.
So Dylan, you're going against establishment then. It seems like everybody is. I thought everybody had come to the realization they got to build this minor league system. But you're saying go out and trade them all.
We had a lot of graduations. I mean, if you looked at the analysis,
trade Tibbs.
If you looked at the analysis from the people that ranked us so low, it was that our farm system was depleted by people that were entering the major leagues.
Right.
So yeah, you have to rebuild in a sense. We also have a lot of young guys. It's the blessing and the curse. We have a lot of young guys on our major league roster, which depleted our farm system, and also gives us a lot of uncertainty about the performance of our team in the future. Now, if these guys who are big league ready are great, we're going to have a great year. We're going to have a great team. And if they're not great, then that's just what happens. You pulled out a lot of guys from the farm system and they didn't pan out, and that's what happens.
Yeah, but see, I'm afraid if you go and play the odds in Vegas and you always pick the underdog, sure, you might hit one, but we're expecting this year if we're going to be competitive, we got to hit on too many.
You're
asking for too much.
I think at least we get at least one pitcher that hits legit, like who turns out to be a stud. At least one of our guys will come out and hit their ceiling or close to it and be awesome. And
what gives you any confidence that that'll happen? What like this is the problem with this Giants team. I don't know about you, Eric. I mean, we talked about all these situations, the variables before. What leads you to believe all of a sudden that, hey, Robbie Ray will win 18 games, or that Harrison's going to turn it around, win 17 games, Eric? There's nothing in me that
they had to prove
just like the offseason. If you'd asked me realistically in the offseason, I didn't see Adames signing here. I didn't
either.
Yeah.
But if you'd asked me what were they going to do this offseason, I'd say other than Adames, what they've done, because this is the track record.
That's the bad thing. It's bad optics, right? I mean, you got a new regime that comes in with Buster Posey trying to exercise the Farhan demons, so to speak.
But truly, he didn't.
With the exception of
Adames, a lot of people in the organization are different now than what they were before. And
except
the
from
way that they're sure, there's a lot of things that are different that we're not going to really see the effects of right away.
For a while. I get it.
We haven't seen a single game in baseball.
No, not at all. I agree. And all I'm doing, I'm basing this purely on paper. Purely on paper.
And it's really, I just don't want to undersell how much variance there is in baseball, and how, in 2023 the Mets finished 4th in the NL East. 75, they won 75 games and they had $375 million in taxable payroll.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a considerably better position in many ways than the Mets team was in 2023. Just 1 year before that, they made a solid run in the playoffs. They fell apart a bit, and they're spending big again. And now they're putting up a really scary lineup. So yes, they have Steve Cohen, who's willing to shell out money. And I would say that it makes sense to not be super optimistic about the Giants spending a lot of money. But it can turn, anything can turn around. In baseball, anyone's in it. One off season, one key prospect, you're in it. So the doom and gloom about 5 years, 10 years, that it doesn't take that long in baseball to turn around to win once. I mean, the Rangers proved you can open your wallet once and win a World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sign a Donnie Ecker and your organization knows how to hit now.
Yeah. How about
It
that?
just immediately
Eric, if you and I are still doing this,
Donnie
show,
Ecker is like a freaking, he's the hitting whisperer,
Guru.
right?
Just
He's
a
the
guru.
if Eric and I are still doing this show, remember what I said tonight. 5, 10, 15 years. 15 years, that'll be 2040.
I hope you'll be around to see it, Glenn.
I'll be thinking. We will have a shot at winning the division, Eric.
Think so? You think 2040? Huh? I don't know if it's that long.
It could be 1 year.
Again, what take away the Giants. Take Giants out of the equation. What makes you think that the LA Dodgers won't win the division for the next 10 to 15 years?
Yeah.
When they've done it for the last 40.
I mean, they want to do it. They want to do it
on
they
this Giants team playing actively, playing in 15 years from now. There won't be hardly you'd be probably hard pressed to find minor leaguers playing in our AAA system 15 years from now.
Right.
So that is such
a baseball.
But here's the thing: when I talked about this earlier, when we talking about building a team, if people are saying 3 to 5 years, you got to tell me who are the names then, because that's not that far away, to be honest with you. Tell me who are the names in 3 or 5 years that are going to be anchoring the rotation, who are going to be anchoring your position player. I mean, you got to have an idea of who these guys are going to be, and that's the thing. It's roulette. You just don't know. A guy may hit, a guy may not hit.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Jay Farrell for at least 2 days, maybe 3. Eric, Jay Farrell's been bringing it. Just telling it like it is. This anyone can get lucky attitude is why the Giants are where they are.
It's not about anyone can get lucky. It's about the fact that if you are motivated to do so, as a front office in baseball, you can make things happen.
Yes, correct. Agreed.
And there's obviously there's a little bit of luck involved. Baseball is a game of percentages.
Mm-hmm.
And
where the luck is in the draft. That's where all the luck is.
Yes,
that's when you're 180. What did I say to start the entire conversation with you tonight? I said, show me proof, like Marcus is saying, that the Giants will do that, because they don't.
They haven't shown it yet. Not yet.
And we're not talking like yet this month or this off season. They just don't show it at all. And at the end of the day, best players win your championships.
I'm really excited.
Not fielding a team of could-be's, wannabes, hopefuls, let's sees. Hope you don't get hurt.
Look, it has to start somewhere. And I think Posey, what Posey wants to do is figure out who your core guys are. Figure out who your core homegrown guys are.
Do they have a core? That's going to be that's the question.
That's what they're establishing.
That's what
with
this
their
year is
trying to
gonna
Chapman,
have
figure
to
their
be.
out.
Adamas, potentially Eldritch, Bailey, Chapman, Bailey Chapman, Adamas, and
Fitzgerald.
I'm gonna throw
Ramos.
Jung Hoo Lee into that. That's like your core 4. You will see those guys every single day out there.
Okay.
And I throw
then.
Jung Hoo Lee into
Eldridge?
that because
Eldridge Lee
Eldritch
Ramos.
doesn't count yet.
Let's talk about that. Because guess what? In your rebuild in 3 to 4 years, Chapman, Adamas, and Jung-Hoo Lee aren't going to be the factors. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue. That's why
I think it has to be 1 or 2 years. But
yeah, and that's the thing. And if that's the case, Marcus, they're gonna have to. There's no escaping.
no, there's absolutely. I mean, look, the percentage chance that we can escape paying big money in free agency to compete is minuscule. That means that
correct.
everyone has to hit. If everyone plays at the top end of their expectations, then sure, we don't have to make any signings at all.
Right.
But that's not going to happen.
See, again, I agree. I don't agree with you, Marcus.
You don't think that if everyone plays at the
If we hit on everybody,
Yeah, he's saying he's just throwing it out there.
but if we hit up, if we do, that's when you trade him. You trade Fitzgerald, you trade whoever you can. You get better players.
But if they're playing at their
If they are the better players,
they are the better
If they are
players.
the player, how you play them. No,
They are the better players. I mean, you saw the peak of Fitzgerald. I'm not going to say that he's going to.
I wouldn't say the peak of Fitzgerald. I saw Luis Matos have a good 2 weeks, but I mean,
you don't trade those, you don't trade those players. The players that you home grow and become. That's not the club that we are. That's not the club that.
Well, if you're not going to trade them, play them.
Well, we're playing a lot of them.
we're going to be playing most.
Playing most of them,
except for Matos.
You're going to be trading.
Matos is the only one that's not being played.
Well,
I've tried really hard to get on the Matos bandwagon, and every time I've seen him play, there's something like I don't know if it's attitude wise. Just it's I'm having a hard time with him, like a really hard time.
Do you think they should just give him the run though, just to see what you have?
I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
But I think they are.
At this point, I wouldn't
give him
be.
some reps.
I wouldn't be against it, but I don't know. There's something about him that when he goes out and plays, it makes me cringe a little bit.
Something doesn't resonate.
Yeah,
Yep.
it gives me the same feeling like when Belt would pout all the time, like he'd strike out and he'd go and pout, drag his bat. Like that's the same type of feeling I get from Matos, and it really just it kind of it doesn't sit well with me. I hope he does well. I will pull for him as long as he's a Giant, but there's something about him that I'm not a huge fan of, which is why I'm so fine with signing. Obviously, there's more to it than that, but like I'd be very happy with signing Tucker.
And you know what?
Because I wouldn't feel guilty about blocking out someone like Matos.
And
how are you going to get Tucker though if we don't have a great season?
That's kind of just where we're at.
The wallet. I mean,
you got to either pay a stupid amount, which is fine. I'm fine with doing that, or have a pretty good season.
I can't see it happening only because we just signed Adamas to the largest contract in franchise history,
which is the 8th largest compared to the Dodgers' current roster.
Yeah, I know.
So you think next year we're going to open up the checkbook and go pay him even more?
Here's the deal with Tucker. The deal with Tucker that I see is that clearly, obviously, Vlad is going to be the marquee free agent of next season.
Right. We're not getting either one of them.
And we don't need, I mean, of course we would take a Vlad, but with Eldritch coming up, it's going to be less of a need than a guy like Tucker. So what that makes me think is like when Adamas was a free agent this year, we already had signed ourselves out of the Soto conversations. So that allowed us to just go full bore and like straight into the ear of Adamas and just completely ignore Soto. So we could just negotiate, focus all of our attention on one of the lesser free agents in the offseason. So I feel like it's going to be a similar situation going into next offseason where everyone's going to be chirping at Vlad because he's the top guy and everyone could use him one way or another. They'd make it work. And we're going to be like, well, we're not going to go after Vlad, just period. We already know that going into the offseason. So let's focus all of our energy on the second guy in the list, which would be Tucker, and really just go hard on him while everyone else is going hard on
I'm
Vlad.
not going to sit and tell you that the Giants are definitively going to do something they haven't done before to spend. What I'm going to say is that what the Giants do have is freed up money.
They do.
We have our paid off stadium. We have exclusive broadcasting rights.
Mission Road.
You know, we have this exorbitantly expensive real estate development that's, you know, basically ready to start printing money.
$15 hot dogs.
Yeah, I mean,
$70 pizza.
Then go get a pitcher. Stop worrying about Tucker and get realistic and go worry about building a pitching staff. Come next year, this pitching staff.
I'm very excited about it
tonight. This pitching staff guy, you want to get a guy hot here, and maybe we can stay. We are not winning with this pitching staff. There you go. I've said it. We're not winning. Done. Agree, Eric? Disagree?
It's gonna be tough. I feel confident in Webb. Ray, I think he's gonna have a bounce back. Verlander, I think he's gonna have a good first half of the season. Hicks will have a good first half of the season. Harrison is a question mark.
I'm excited about our young pitching.
Real quick, before we go on to this, if Matos, Giants are in a pickle because if Matos is not as advertised in right field, who's your right fielder next year? Because Yaz is not he's going to be a free agent. Giants ain't signing Yaz. Who's going to be your right fielder?
It's going to get super interesting.
It is
at that point.
Because I don't think McRae, he's not ready to go yet.
And
what you're saying, Eric, is still there are too many freaking question marks.
Well, it is. I'm talking specifically for right field.
You're saying you're going in next season. God, we need a right fielder. We need pitching. Every year you should be tweaking, Eric. I get it. I got to build.
I get it. Now,
frustrating,
back
man.
to the pitching. That's where I'm standing. Webb is going to Webb. Ray will be better, but what does that mean? I can't tell you. Verlander, good first half of the season, but I think he falls apart after halfway through. Hicks, even though I saw the video where he's bulked up and everything, but look, it's one thing to put on muscle mass. It's another thing to go out there and throw 6+ innings every 5th day. It's different. It's not the same. Sure, the muscle helps, but you still got to have that stamina and that ability to be able to go to distance because he's not used to that. He fell apart last year, and I think he'd probably fall apart after the halfway through the season. And again, Harrison, man, I don't know what to say about Harrison. We'll see, I guess. I mean, it is.
I'm hoping a new philosophy really gets him back to form because he was fine until they started screwing with like the way he pitched, and it kills me to watch that happen because I tend to not be good at. I'm basing this partially off of fantasy stuff and partially off of just the eye test watching baseball and the stats that I've read. Is I tend to not have the greatest eye for bats and potential in that regard, but when it comes to pitching, I like to think that I'm pretty in tune with the pitching, and I genuinely think that they screwed Harrison hard, like Luciano levels of screwing Harrison over in the same regard by changing away like his pitching philosophy around. He needs to go back to how he was pitching in the minor leagues and just do that because that's what worked. That's what got him to being such a high-rated prospect and so on and so forth. This finesse pitching, whatever, that's not his shtick. He needs to be effectively wild and just blow gas.
Yeah, we'll see. Problem is, though, what worked for him in the minor leagues also led to a lot of walks.
Exactly. And Blake Snell walks the crap out of people too, but he strikes a lot of people out as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a different philosophy. And with age and experience and all that kind of stuff, he will settle in and that'll come down. But until that happens, he needs to just blow gas, top of the zone, and let his crappy slider throw people off.
There you go.
That's just what he needs to do.
Check out these two guys. Gosh dang it. I hate it when it does that. Hold on 1 second. I don't want to give it away. There we go. What do you think of these two guys?
This is 1 year.
1 year last year.
Not a whole bunch of games.
Nope.
A lot of at bats on the right side for 121 games. I guess that's on par. They're very similar individuals.
I mean, the guy on the left is clearly better. I don't know. Like, he's better in basically every way. I don't know.
Want to take a gander who these guys are?
I can't. I usually am pretty good at getting it off of the average.
Kyle
Is there one on the? So one on.
He played a half season, right? Like Kyle Tucker played a half season.
I think Tucker was in the 80s, 280s for batting average, and I think he stole 20 bases last year. I almost said Ramos on the right, but I think Ramos played more games than 121. I actually know because he came up late, so maybe it is Ramos on the right. 22 bombs, yeah.
Pretty damn similar, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. And I said earlier in the offseason that Vientos is basically just an infield version of Ramos.
Yep. So I'm guessing Vientos is going to stay at third then.
Ramos had some progression, but
no, Vientos is fantastic. I really like him. I hope him and Ramos both continue on their path. Like they are able to repeat what they did last year, because they both obviously didn't play full seasons. So I'll be curious as to if they can, like, sophomore season, take that stride, which I'm high on guys' sophomore seasons. I tend to like their prospectus. Like the sophomore slump is always talked about, but I tend to go the other direction.
Yeah, I got to sign out soon, not for a little while yet, but in case I forget, and I got a chance now that Eric has gone to warm up the coffee. Marcus, what kind of camera did you get? Looks good.
Oh man, I got this years ago. It's the Razer Keo.
Oh, that's what I have.
Yeah, I got it like a long time ago, and
I call bullshit, Dilly. I have yet to see you fire up the camera.
Incorrect. I've been on the show with my camera on before.
You have?
Confirmed. Way back, but it has happened.
Dude, I go back to the NorCal days, and I still don't know what you look like.
No, I have definitely been on the show before with my camera. I had my Blue Giants hat on. It's sucky because my internet's like, it's all right, but as soon as I fire up the camera, it gets a little choppy, and then you get like a slideshow. So it's just me. It's like it's sketchy. I'll bust it out if like something crazy happens, but I will save the slideshow Billy face for.
And Marcus, you look good. You got lighting there, or just spend like half an hour in makeup pregame here?
It's just it's very bright ring light.
Yeah, it looks good. That camera looks great. Putting us all to shame with it. We're just poor podcasters. So what can we do?
I mean,
are you guys excited? Pitchers and catchers report another week.
I'm pumped.
It'll be exciting. I mean, look,
something to talk about.
Even as disappointed as I am, I love baseball. I love watching baseball, and I'm disappointed with the Giants, but I like to watch them anyway. That's what fandom is. Sometimes you're really happy and sometimes you're really upset.
Is Marcus getting into our baseball pool this year, Dilly?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Hey,
Marcus
he's
gonna talk the
talk. He's gonna walk the walk among the Giants Sports Talk Live pool.
Fantasy baseball is a very different game than
daily fantasy baseball.
Eric and I finished in last place. Eric and I finished, I think, second last. And Dilly, where'd you finish? Third?
I was joint second.
Oh yeah, because you're a prick. You wouldn't trade. I made him like 46 offers. He wouldn't make a trade with me.
He really, really wanted Salvador Perez for a
I was
long
offering you
time.
5-6 players. I go, I'll just go to the waiver wire and get somebody. I needed a catcher, and of course, nope.
I couldn't.
It's
I
like,
couldn't
oh,
let him go.
you bugger. And then a week later, I get an email. Dilly has made you an offer. I'm like, nah.
Yeah. And hey, you know what?
You're
To
greasy
that point-
too, dude. I wanted him, but you wanted all my. Didn't I make a trade with you early in the year and traded you Schwarber?
Yes.
I
And
traded
boom.
you Schwarber. And you wouldn't throw me? Yeah, you would. Dude, I did you a favor.
Yes,
That was basically.
that was advantageous.
I got to put it in writing with you. That was the deal where it should have said player to be named later.
Yeah, yes. I can't remember. Did I give up Langford? I think I gave up Langford like real early on. I can't remember who I dished him out to. But
I think you
got rid
traded
of
him to Dan. Dan was begging me to take Langford.
He was
I had
so high
Langford.
on him.
I had Langford.
I had him at some point, and
I had him
dumped
at some point too. He made the rounds
very early.
I got him from Dan.
Yeah.
I think I traded him to you. He made the rounds pretty quick.
Yeah, because I got him super early, or I got him in the draft, and then because I never intended on playing him, but using him as trade bait because I knew there was other people who were super high on him, and that ended up working out.
Yeah, I learned
Fantasy's
last year.
awesome. I love.
I learned the. I mean, every fantasy league is different. The way ours was designed, if I'd known going in, you really had. That's why I had to trade Ohtani come August. I had no shot of even making the postseason in our pool or finishing in the top 5 because I didn't have balance.
Mm-hmm.
I had home run. I had Santander and I had Vladdy. And so I was banging. And you got points based on each
the categories.
So I was romping in the home runs, but I was last in ERA. I was last in actually my ERA was number 1. I was like second last in RBIs. I was last in stolen bases. So if you don't have balance, you gotta have a balanced team. And you did you get lucky with your catcher, or did you were you taking you thought he was gonna have the big year?
So my grandpa actually, so I'm in another fantasy league every year, starting a couple. So like I've wiggled my way into another fantasy league, but it's a weekly fantasy rather than daily. So you make roster changes weekly. And so my grandpa had him a couple years ago or a year or so ago, something like that. And that was one of his years where he hit 30 plus bombs and was phenomenal. Had a year very similar to the year that he did last year. So I was like, you know what? I'll take him as a flyer. Like I'll see. He's not a bad catcher, obviously. And he plays some first base as well. So he gets more at bats as a catcher than like a Patrick Bailey or someone who's just a catcher and doesn't go over at first. So I was thinking for stat padding, that'd be pretty solid.
All right.
What I did was when I drafted like going in, I will all cards on the table now that it's in it's retrospective. I went in with just an absolute joke of a draft strategy, just saying I'm going to draft pitching for the first 5 rounds, just pitchers. And then from that, I will draw like trade value later in the season and I'll get my bats.
No,
so like when my pitching
I don't know what. I don't know. Well, don't give up any trade secrets. When Marcus gets back, I got to ask him. There he is. So Marcus, do you have any background in fantasy baseball? Are you a guru and we just don't know it?
I haven't played fantasy baseball in many years. For the record,
just show up in ours. You got a shot to win the thing with guys like me and Eric.
Yep.
My job though is a lot of data analysis. So I think fantasy baseball, because it's so different than evaluating real baseball players, you know what I mean? It's just sort of like a numbers game, and I assume that like, you know, data analysis does well there.
It does, but I mean, did you hear what I was just saying to Dilly? I had some of the top players in baseball. Mm-hmm. And at one point I was third last. I think I finished second last. I had to trade Ohtani.
Oh boy.
because ours is based on 12 guys in the league. And there were how many? Dilly, wasn't there like maybe 10 categories? So let's say
I think it's a 10,
home
5
run.
on each.
I was banging in home runs, man. I was up the top in our whole league. I had Vladdy, Santander, Ohtani.
I mean, you don't need to win. You don't need to win by 10 home runs. You just need to win each week by 1 home run, right?
No.
Or
you need to finish the season by
the season.
the,
So what happened was, if I hit the most home runs and I hit 500 even, and you hit 26 and you're the worst, you get 1 point, and I get 12.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what happens was August came along and everybody's laughing at me. They're like, holy shit, who's this Glenn guy? He traded Ohtani. I had no stolen bases. I had no RBIs, but I had a lot of home runs, and there was no way I could catch up. So I made a trade, and actually, Dilly, Dan always makes fun of me because I traded Ohtani to Dan, and I got L.A. De La Cruz and about 4 or 5 other players. He loaded me up. But everybody I traded to Dan got hurt within 3 days. I traded him Jung-Hoo Lee. 3 days later, he was out for the year. And then I traded him, what's it name? The pitcher for the Dodgers there, Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Next start, he went down for like 3 months.
Class now.
I got really lucky, but still finished in last place because I didn't have enough. So this year, I'm going to go with balance. Doesn't matter. You don't have to have the best player. You got to have a balanced freaking roster. And even in pitching last year, my ERA was number 1. I got 12 points. Wins, terrible. Saves, holy shit. Dilly, early in the year, I couldn't get a save to save my life. I had one point.
Rally.
You gotta have balance.
I struggled with saves as well. I went heavy on starting pitching though. I didn't really. Well, my closers got hurt because
Eric. Where's Eric? Did we lose Eric?
the coffee fought back.
Jeez, did the microwave blow up?
He burned himself.
Yeah, text him and see where he's got to.
Yeah, no. Fantasy's fun. Fantasy's super fun.
Oh, my
and
phone's
you know
dead.
what?
And he's texting me.
Love the daily fantasy because it's good research and like understanding daily stats on guys for the weekly fantasy league as well. Which is cool.
Val, I didn't have Wilmer. Who had Wilmer, Dilly? Wasn't me.
Oh, I can't remember. I know someone had Slaz. I think
A
Dan
lot
had
of-
Slaz.
Everybody at some point during the year also chased guys. A guy has 2 games where he gets, I'll give you an example, Matos. Everybody's running to the waiver wire to get Matos.
How about
And then back, he's waived a week. And you know what happens, Marcus? I got it. You know why I finished in last place? Learned a valuable lesson last year. Shouldn't give up the trade secrets, but I'm gonna give you a heads up. And Dilly, you're gonna agree with me, I hope. I think we have 35 roster moves. Don't use
Something
them
like
all
that.
in the month of April.
Yeah. You have a set amount of roster moves that you can make like adds and drops. You can make unlimited trades last year, but you can
Like
only
you go to the free
pick
agent
up
wire.
so many. Yeah, the waiver wire, you could only take so many people. And I do distinctly remember seeing a couple of the people in the league maxing out about halfway, like all-star break. I was like, all right, hope you like
it
your
was May
team. 'cause-
15th. I didn't make it through the month and a half.
I was gonna say, hope you like your team because that's what's gonna be.
What
That's funny.
Oh well. I'm coming back.
It's good. It's good.
I keep telling everybody, and I shouldn't be letting all the secrets out, but I'm on like chapter 12, the fantasy expert.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm really I'm buzzing through that
Literature.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened to Eric, guys. I don't know if Eric's coming back, and I got to get over to the radio in about 49, 50. I got 4 minutes. I got to be over on oldies.
Yeah, I have to go to sleep. I have work.
Some of us got to actually work for a living till 6 a.m. But well, here we are, week away, 10 days away. They'll be over on the ball field in Arizona. Boy, it's been a long time coming too. The ups, the downs, the arguments, the fussing and the fighting, and then we finally get to hear play ball. It's going to be nice.
I
it'll be
can't
really
wait
nice.
to look at the box scores for the spring training games. Like that
I
was
might
one of
go.
my favorite things.
I might go to Arizona.
You know what? I don't know about you guys. I don't put anything. There was one year the Seattle Mariners lost two games in the whole preseason. They thought they were going to win the whole
I don't put a
that
drop
doesn't,
in
it doesn't
the
matter.
They were last place the whole season. So
it doesn't matter. I mean, I just want
Just
to
to
see
see some
some of the young
at-bats.
guys. Yeah. Just see some baseball
and you get
So
if you
good.
watch any of the games, or I listen to a lot of them while I'm working during the day, and you get to hear a little background on some of these guys that are coming up. And I like to hear, what they did in the offseason, if they're working out, they're in the weights, what they're projected to do in the minors. I don't know. It's just baseball's educated. Like you said earlier, Marcus, it's a numbers game, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the whole head-to-head. It's almost like a chess game. A lot of my friends don't. I'm one of the few of my close bunch of friends that they won't watch baseball. They go, "Oh, it's too boring, too slow." Like that's what I like about it. It's head-to-head.
I agree.
Pitcher versus catcher. And I know some guys will watch postseason where it means something then. Each pitch. And that's what it's like for me every game.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
I'm planning to go to a lot more games next year. I have some buddies that are in the whiskey group that are down to just go to the games.
Are you going to go opening day?
And stuff.
Sorry, you're going to go opening day?
I don't think I'll be in town for opening day.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
What about you, Dilly?
I'm going in July. I know that to see a Pirates game.
You'll be back then?
Yeah, I know for sure. I'm locked in for that one. I don't know. I'm sure there will be other games.
I'll be going to a lot of the weekday games.
When Eric and I approached each other, basically, it was one Sunday afternoon. I got a phone call, and he was telling me that he was taking a break from doing an online platform. He said, "Let's do a show, man. We both have a passion for the Giants. Let's do a show." And here we are. We've made it through 6 months. He hasn't quit. I haven't killed anybody. We got a bigger
that you know of.
Yeah, we've had to send out a few
wellness checks.
Yeah, wellness checks or St. Bernard's. We had to, you remember Tommy D. Tommy D. I thought he was going over the deep end, but
you almost took yourself out a couple times with Pepsi.
Oh, geez, right out the nose. And my sinus. Yeah. Hey, how are you, Marcus? Your sinus. How are you feeling, buddy?
Oh, I mean, a lot better. It was temporary. I was sick for a couple days.
It's still bothering me.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know.
Bothering me, man. I might have surgery, polyps or something.
Yeah,
and I had a terrible cold last week. Like a bad cold was going around where I was in bed for 2 days. I missed one show, I believe. Eric covered. Speaking of wellness checks,
Eric, and Eric, a life alert.
Eric's going to get really pissed off. But why? What the hell? He's not here. I got to do two things, guys. Make sure you
read.
Eric. Okay, Dilly, you've been around this game long enough. Who's our featured sponsor?
Better Credit Cards, of course.
What can I say that I haven't already said about BetterCreditCards.com? It's a website. You go there to get a better credit card. Okay, that's really probably all I need to say for most of you, but I still have time left, so how about this? At BetterCreditCards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
All right, and all our other sponsors, but the main one I got to make sure I mention is BetterCreditCards.com. So it appears, Marcus, Dilly, and everybody out there in the chat tonight, good turnout, by the way. Thank you for your contribution. That Eric just must be having a down day. He just disappeared. He's having a down day.
Look,
and what do we do? But what do we do when Eric has a down day? What do we do?
What's up, Chardall?
I'm going to be singing a song for you today.
You don't have to. It's up to you, man.
I'm not saying don't stop believing because you're not having a great day, so I want to lift up your spirits.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have tuned in, the great Chardall will be performing Don't Stop Believing. Take it away, Chardall.
I love
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. A singer in a smoky room, a smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile, they could share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers wait.
We're waiting.
Up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching in the night. Street lights, people living just a fun emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Working hard to get my fill. Everybody wants a thrill. Paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose. Some are born to sing the blues. Whoa, the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting.
Where's the chorus?
Up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching in the night.
I think the chorus is here.
Street lights, people.
You would think that.
Living just a fun emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Don't stop believing. Hold on, street lights, people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Street lights, people.
That's pretty good, except the chorus. You lost me in the chorus, man.
I'm not going to be joining any Giant Sports Talk Live karaoke nights.
Karaoke nights.
I was there for that live. I witnessed that as it was happening.
That was my sick night. I believe
you were sick that day.
Yeah, I wasn't on, and
I think I was on just before that, and then I left. He came on, and that's what happened. Something like that.
That is tough.
Anyway, and I'm going to put out a wellness check shortly. Got to figure out where Eric went. I'm going to wrap it up because, like I say, I got to be over.
That sounds good.
I got to do the radio show. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Marcus, you're number one. Yep. Love that shirt. Love the camera. Good to see you on set tonight.
Night.
Okay, buddy. And Dilly, you're always welcome. You know that.
Peace out.
Peace out. That's my line. Peace out. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I don't know what the hell happened to Eric. Hopefully he's okay, and we'll get him back in tomorrow. He might be maybe he's chasing the internet guy down the street again. That has happened before. But we lost Eric. I don't know what happened to him. I'm sure we'll find him. Don't panic. Eric and I will be back tomorrow night at 8:00, and we will do it all over again. The only problem is I haven't wrapped up a show in literally, well, it's been a while. Going to make sure I know what we're doing here. 8:00 tomorrow night. Eric and I are back. Topic, who knows? Eric's got a few things up his sleeve. Might have a guest coming up in a few days as well. Keep our fingers crossed for that. Getting ready for pitchers and catchers. Just over a week away. We're getting a little tingly, a little excited about that. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight and keep cheering on those San Francisco Giants. See you tomorrow.
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.